So hey everyone, welcome to the People of Color Healing Space. Our space will be focused on self-care, finding a collective community, and this will be a place to take care of ourselves and each other. So today's training is going to be about finding ourselves and gathering our thoughts. So actually, before we begin, I'm going to ask everyone to turn off your phones, put it aside, grab a drink of water, some paper and a pencil to write with, and honestly just get comfortable so that you can pay attention and listen. Cool. So let's move on to introductions. It's also going to be popcorn style, which means after I go, I'm going to go ahead and call on someone else. Cool. So we are going to do names, pronouns, where we live, and one thing we want from this training. My name is Maggie. I'm a facilitator, and my pronouns are she, her. I live in California, and one thing I want from this training is just to see how everyone's reacting and try to center my thoughts. I will call on Amy, or Serena, sorry.
Hi everyone, my name's Serena. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm also from California. What I'm looking to get from this is to get more in touch with myself and what I can do for myself. And Amy, do you want to go?
Yeah. So hi everyone, my name is Amy. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Kentucky. And one thing that I want to get from this training is learning how to educate myself and my peers in a better way. And I'll pass it off to our participant.
Hi, I'm Aranza Valadares. I'm also from Kentucky, and my goal is to just educate myself furthermore on how I can be more respectful toward other people of color, and to just be a loving community where we all support each other.
Definitely. Cool. So let's move on to the first activity that we're going to do. And this one's just kind of like a thing to get us not fired up, but ready for what we're going to show you guys. It's just kind of like a warm up. So Serena, do you want to explain how we're going to do it?
What we're going to be doing is some stretching exercises. I guess aren't really stretching, but releasing tension. And so first, unclench your jaw. It's something we do a lot subconsciously. And release the tensions from your shoulders. Oftentimes, our shoulders are hunched up and tense, and we don't realize until someone tells us. Now we're going to do a bit more active stretching. So let's reach up to the sky. And slowly come down. Now, let's roll our neck around slowly clockwise. And the other way. And once you're ready, return to a comfortable position for the rest of the training. And keep in mind throughout the rest of the training as well of any tension in your jaw and shoulders so that you're able to be relaxed and tune in.
Yeah, because there's so many times when we self-consciously go into a clenched body position, and for this training, we really want to teach you guys how to kind of heal in this healing space and be able to relieve tension and to focus and gather our thoughts. Cool. So the second activity that we're going to do, it's also kind of like a warm-up. It's similar to stretching, but it's actually a breathing exercise. And keep in mind that we're not making you guys do these activities just to do them. We want you to focus, and while you're breathing and while you were stretching, we wanted you guys to focus on your thoughts and think about this, think about listening and focusing on yourself in the middle of the chaos that's going around in this world right now.
So for any of you who have never done a breathing exercise before, these exercises are meant to help you relax as well as clear your mind of anything that might be distracting you. How this is going to work is that we are going to inhale for a number of seconds, hold, and then exhale for the same number of seconds. The catch is that every time we repeat this exercise, we will try to aim for more seconds of inhaling and more seconds of exhaling. Don't worry if you can't hold or breathe out for the given time. We just want to use this as a source of meditation and relaxation. If you feel comfortable, you may close your eyes during this exercise. If you can, please go off mute for this activity. So first, breathe in for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh my gosh. I don't know about you guys, but I feel really relaxed. Thank you so much, Amy. Okay. So, now that we're all calm and centered and we have gathered our thoughts, let's move on. So, what is a collective community? I know that in the beginning of this training, I talked about a bit about collective community and finding one and contributing to one. So now I want to kind of define it and show you guys what it is. So actually, before we start, does anyone want to try and give a definition or example for collective community? We would love to hear from a few people when you guys have felt a collective community and just kind of related to it.
Can y'all go over what a collective community is again? I'm really sorry.
Yeah, of course. So essentially, a collective community is a group of people that share or are motivated by at least one common issue or interest. So to give a few examples, I would say that this is seen in neighborhoods, in churches, and schools as well. So does someone want to give an example for when they felt a collective community and when they contributed to one? So I know, oh, go for it.
My bad. Wait, am I talking? Because it keeps on going. Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought like we just all went silent for a little bit. I guess with my church, I felt a collective community, and I didn't really feel it up until I think a couple months ago. Just because like after all this stuff started happening with coronavirus, it was really good to like finally take a step back and like look back and like what my faith is, instead of just like thinking of it like, oh, I just go to church every day and everything. And I think it felt really good, and it felt like a lot of like unity in it. So
I definitely agree. I remember one time when I also go to church, and one time we had a kind of like a sleepover, and that was when we really felt together, and we kind of just shared our past experiences and just kind of talked about like our experiences, and that really just helps strengthen our relationships with each other. And obviously, when you think of church, you think of a community, right? But when we really got together and talked about ourselves more personally, we definitely felt like a collective community. And that's where I would say how community is different from collective community. Yeah. So Amy, Serena, do you guys have any examples?
Yeah, so for me, a collective community isn't necessarily a group of people who are the same or even similar, but just a community or a group of people that have similar interests or passions. So for me, one of the programs that I'm involved in is a service program, and it's for high school students in my state. And for us, it's everybody that's in the program is very passionate about community service. And when we're together, we just act as a resource and also a source of motivation for each other to pursue more service and to really just understand why we all are passionate about this beyond ourselves. Service itself is this greater movement, and by working together, we can really try to dive deeper into it and try to understand what it means beyond ourselves.
And me, when I think of a collective community versus just a community, it really focuses on the listening and sharing between people in that space. And honestly, you can often just come together naturally. Like, it's not something that needs to be scheduled, but just sometimes when I'm with my family, we'll just start sharing things and really listening to each other. And it's just different than what happens every day.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Cool. So if anyone else wants to share, go for it. But if not, we can move on to our next activity. So yeah, I actually want to say something else. I feel like us coming together right now is kind of like is essentially a collective community, because I feel like, well, I for one live in California, and then some of you guys live in Kentucky. So obviously we don't know each other, and it's very hard to, I would say, like, schedule stuff together. But the fact that we're all coming together right now for a common interest and to accomplish something really says something about us, that we are actually a collective community and we want to work together and become, like a family. So I really appreciate you guys coming out here today. Cool. So, Amy, do you want to go explain our next exercise? This exercise is kind of, the first few exercises were just being able to center our thoughts and calm down and try to relax a bit. And then the next exercise will actually be more hands-on. And actually, Amy, do you want to just go ahead and explain it?
Yeah, I can explain it. So basically, this is like a pattern game with sort of a focus on memorization. So each of us will do some kind of a pose that can be based off of just anything in general, or maybe like one of your favorite emojis. And then the next person after that has to do the previous person's pose along with their own. So sort of a memorization, but also just keeping track of what everybody's doing, and also just hands-on trying to do something yourself. So I'll start. This is based off an emoji. If you know the monkey one with the eyes closed.
Okay, so Amy kind of explained it, but at the same time, we also want to learn each other's names. So for example, I will say, hi, my name is Maggie, and my emoji is this. And then I would call on Serena. And then she would repeat exactly what I said and what I did and add her own name and her own gesture. Does that all kind of make sense? Okay, cool. So Amy, do you want to go ahead and get us started?
Yeah, so my name is Amy, and I choose the monkey one as my pose. And I'll pass it to Serena.
Oh, I'm Amy. My emoji is this. And I'm Serena, and my emoji is this. And I'll pass it on to Maggie.
My name is Amy, and my emoji is this. My name is Serena, and my emoji is this. My name is Maggie, and my emoji is this. And I'll pass it on to Aranza.
That was, wait, do I have to repeat everyone's?
Yeah, you have to
Okay,
go.
so Amy's was the monkey with the Serena's was this one, I think, and then yours was this. And then Maggie's was that, yeah. And then mine is the blowing a kiss. There you go.
Nice. Cool. Actually, does someone want to repeat all of that?
Yeah, I'll go. So my name is Amy, and I chose the monkey closed eyes one. And then my name is Serena, and I did this. And then Maggie, she did this with their arms crossed, and then Veronza did blowing kiss. Yes.
Yay! Awesome. That was so good. Good job, team. Okay. So, looking at this collective community slide we have up here, I want you guys to think about how that can relate to the game that we just did. So what is one thing that you saw during the pattern game, and what did we kind of have to do in order to be successful at repeating each other and correctly?
Oh, I'll go first. It's relating back to what I was saying about my personal experiences with collective communities. It's that focus on listening, and that's definitely something you have to do during this sort of game, is listen to everyone before you.
Does someone else want to try and give it a go of what we had to do?
Yeah, I'll go. So yeah, just like Serena said, listening. It was also like trying to remember. I don't know if anyone here has bad memory. Sometimes I'll just forget the easiest things. So it's really good if you just try your best to remember what the person before you did. I kind of messed it up because I kept on saying everyone's name instead of like, I'm Amy or I'm Serena, but my bad.
Yeah. So, yeah, this activity does show you the importance of listening, paying attention, and remembering. But most importantly, it shows you that working together is so important in achieving a collective community, because we had to work together with each other, and we couldn't just slack off or go and do something else, because that does not create a collective or successful collective community. So that we can also relate that to the real world, right? Now that the world is in chaos, finding a collective community and contributing one is so important to our healing and our health. So that's the importance of collective community as of right now in today's world. Cool. Let's move on to, I think, our final activity. This one's the most, this one's the one that really leaves a big impact.
Okay, so our next activity, our last activity, will be journaling. We are here to support each other and to assist you guys in any way we can during these tough times. The main goal behind this is for self-reflection. So can everyone take out a piece of paper and a pencil so we can jot down some thoughts?
And if you don't have one, it's totally fine to have a computer or have a napkin. Anything is fine as long as you can jot down your feelings. Oh, also for the ones who will be watching this later, you can pause the video as long as you want for jotting down your notes, because this is a time to reflect, not a time to really speed write anything. So feel free to pause the video or anything like that. Cool. So Serena, do you want to go ahead or Amy, is there anything you want to add?
So we'll begin with a series of questions, and Serena, you can go ahead.
Sorry, I was on mute. So these are just some guidelines and questions to keep in mind while you're journaling to just guide your thoughts. So one thing to think about is, how am I feeling today?
We'll give it a couple of minutes for our viewers and our attendees to jot them down. Cool. So the next question is, why did I come here today? And these are just guidelines, like Serena said, to guide and help your thoughts. But you can write anything that comes to mind, because this is just a guideline. It'll help you guide your thoughts.
Okay, and the next question, how can I process emotion physically?
And the last question is, what support do I need?
Yeah, so we kind of just threw a couple of questions at you. So we're gonna give it a couple of minutes for you guys to answer them. If you don't have enough time, don't worry, because these are just to help guide your thoughts. The main idea or the main objective of this activity is to be able to think, and don't push away your thoughts, and just have them flow naturally, and try to center yourself and maybe write it down, preferably.
And journaling is something that is a good practice to get into, to get in touch with your feelings and your needs. And so feel free to take these questions or think of your own and try to work it into a daily or weekly routine.
If you're serious about your business, you need to build systems. And you have to find a great tool like Moody.com to do it.
Can you guys hear that okay? Okay. So maybe a couple more minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. Cool. And again, don't worry if you didn't finish writing. We just want you guys to focus on centering your thoughts. Cool. So, if you're comfortable, feel free to come off mute and share your thoughts about what you wrote down. If you don't want to say it, you can also type it in the chat. But again, this is only if you're comfortable. If you're not, we don't share if you're not comfortable. So I can share for the first question. So the first question is, how am I feeling today? I said pretty good. I'm very tired for some reason. Yeah, I also said that the world is kind of in chaos right now, and centering my thoughts is really important. Yeah, I also wrote that I want to start journaling more because it felt really good too. And I just felt like I gathered my thoughts effectively, and I don't know, I just felt better after writing. Cool. So if no one else wants to share, or I'll give it like 1 more minute maybe. If no one else wants to share, then we can start wrapping things up.
I'll start for the second one. I came here today and got involved with the training is mostly because I have had some issues with some of my non-POC friends who haven't really been understanding how certain things impact me, and so I kind of just needed to go to a space where people would understand how I'm feeling, people my age, and
Serena, I think you're breaking out for us.
Yeah, so I'll go. I totally agree with you, Serena, about what you said about like just being kind of left alone, like kind of like put in a box because of what things are going on right now. I feel like a lot of non-POC people, they try to like not be a part of something because they just don't think it's their place. And I definitely had to deal with that a ton. But I said I'm feeling really good so far. I just ate dinner, so I'm really, really good. I came here to learn to build up other POC and overall just be respectful to each other. Like, yeah. And how can I process emotion physically? I journal weekly most of the time. and I just talk to other people about it. And what support do I need? I kind of need unity with my other POC. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, this is kind of personal, but because it happened like just last night. But yesterday I was on a group chat with my friends, and they were from I'm a sophomore now, but they were my 8th grade class in middle school. And we're like a pretty tight knit group, except we haven't talked or like met since then. And they ended up adding someone else to the group chat. And when I sent like a TikTok that was kind of funny, I was kind of like poking fun at the guys at the group chat. They added him, and that boy decided to call me a slur. And instead, normally, like, I feel like a lot of the times I have to stand up for what is right, which is definitely true. But I just also feel like recently, especially in times like these, you really need to learn to educate yourself on the things that are going on, because you cannot give that whole burden to just people of color to just tell you that it's wrong, because you should just know that it's wrong, and you should just learn from it and just not say the slurs and not use those hurtful language, because it really does hurt and they just don't understand. So your girl decided to go on Snapchat and post I posted it, and that is what actually motivated him to actually apologize. And as much as that was kind of like a not the best move to do, I just felt so tired from like having to educate people all like a couple weeks long about what's going on, how we can help, how we can build each other up instead of bringing each other down. And I just did it, and it actually ended up working in my favor. I got an apology, and I hope that he never says it, and I hope he learns from the experience, because it definitely hurt me. And I'm sure if he would have said that to many other people, that would have hurt just as much. So yeah.
Definitely felt that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like you had to stand up for yourself, and I definitely agree that you needed to say something, because a lot of people are not educated on a lot of stuff. So especially the people especially about color and people of color. So yeah, I'm glad that you got an apology though, because that's very disrespectful. Cool. So let's wrap things up. Thank you guys for sharing, actually. Okay, so here are other resources to utilize. There's a really, really well podcast that we'll send a recap email out, and we can send it in the chat right now. But here is a podcast that you guys can listen to. It's very informative, and Aranza, you can send it to your friend that yeah. Yeah, so I would send it to him. Actually send it to anyone who's not educated, because this is a very serious topic. Cool. The next thing is a mental health guide. It's actually written by one of our own facilitators, Amy. Amy, do you want to kind of give like a background or an overview of it?
Yeah, so if you can see in the table of contents, it's just a bunch of different things that you can do to learn more about what mental health is, how to take care of your own, and how to take care of your friends, as well as starting the conversation to talk about mental health. I was a part of a mental health organization here in Kentucky that some students started themselves, and it taught me a lot about how to handle my own mental health, and just how to spread awareness about the issue overall, because mental health, it's something that affects all of us despite our age or anything else. We're all at risk, especially teenagers. So this is a really important topic for us to consider whenever we're going through life.
Mm-hmm. And for the people watching at home right now, or for our viewers, these will be linked in the description below. So don't worry if you're not, if you don't have the link. Cool. Yeah, so here are other opportunities. If you come to any of our future trainings, we will have more opportunities to get you guys these resources, and to our learning circles on WhatsApp. Our learning circles is basically a group where we get to share our feelings, and it's kind of like this healing space, except it's on text, and it's, hold on, I can just share the link in the chat right now. Actually, yeah, Serena's got it. But feel free to click on it and join it, because there's a lot of people on there, and there are we're all like a collective community, so we can always talk to them and each other. Cool. So we also have a training next week. This week's training was kind of just gathering our thoughts and listening to each other, understanding each other's situations, and kind of just like finding a collective community in the midst of all the chaos happening in the world. So definitely invite friends that you think would be interested in this. Invite people who you think would get educated from this, and honestly anyone, because this is just a healing space for everyone to find a collective community in. Cool. So like I said, our next training is the 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. This time actually, which is Friday. Is there anything else that I need to add, Amy or Serena? Cool. So again, thank you guys for coming. Be sure to come back next week. Be sure to tune in next week, and we will see you then. If you have any questions, however, feel free to stay. And if you're watching at home, just drop a question in the comments section, or feel free to reach out to any of us.
And thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching our video to the end. We appreciate it, and we hope you learned something.